Hello, welcome back. As another challenging year comes to a close, we can't help but look ahead with renewed hope. A brighter, better future seems just within reach. The new year is often seen as a fresh start, a chance to clean the dust off our shelves, enjoy delicious meals, reconnect with loved ones, celebrate with friends, and exchange festive messages with colleagues. But have you ever wondered how this beloved celebration came to be? Why is January first chosen as the start of the new year, rather than any other month? These questions may have crossed your mind once or twice, and you're not alone in asking. The new year we celebrate today wasn't always the grand event we know. In fact, it wasn't even January 1st for much of history. It took a series of key historical moments to shape New Year into the festive occasion we cherish. Let's take a look at how it all began and explore how January 1st came to be the official first day of the year. Long before calendars were invented, people relied on the sun's cycles to mark the passage of time. The rising and setting of the sun were the primary indicators of the seasons, and daily life revolved around the sun's movements. Trade and travel were often determined by whether the sun was high in the sky or sinking into the horizon. This method of calculating times and seasons continued until a Roman calendar was created back in 2000 BC, a system known as the lunar calendar, in which the turn of the year is calculated by the movement of the Earth around the moon. This early Roman calendar consisted of only 10 months and 304 days. There was no January and February, with the new year starting on the 1st of March. The months we now know as September to December were originally the 7th to 10th months, as their Latin names suggest. Septem means 7, Octo means 8, and so on to the 10th month. Despite the new year kicking off on the 1st of March, the Babylonians celebrated their own new year around the rainy season in late March, during which they'd hold a religious festival called a Kitu. This festival lasts for 11 days with various rituals to mark the changing of the seasons. They did this in addition to celebrating the new year by honoring Akitu's victory over the Babylonian sky god, defeating Tiamat, the sea goddess of trouble. But other ancient cultures like the Persians, Egyptians, and Phoenicians only celebrated the new during the Harmattan, universally known as winter season. However, there lived a man named Julius Caesar who resided in the heart of an ancient empire who did not agree that March their 1st should be the beginning of the new year. He realized that the seasons no longer matched the months, and the old Roman calendar did not capture the uncommon ability of the Janus god who could look both forward to the future and back to the past. He considered this as a more perfect symbol for the turning of the year rather than the movement of the earth around the moon. Julius Caesar was not just a warrior but also a thinker, someone who believed that time itself could be controlled and ordered. One cold night, as the cold winds swept through the marble streets of Rome, Caesar sat with his advisors, discussing his displeasure over the Roman calendar. In that gathering, he summoned the most brilliant sun traveler of the time, Sosigenes of Alexandria, and together they devised a new system, a calendar that followed the sun, not the moon. This solar calendar would have 365 days, with an extra day added every 4 years to account for the Earth's journey around the sun. But when should the year begin? That was the question. Though the Romans traditionally celebrated the new year in March, but Caesar had a different idea. He wanted the year to start fresh, in the cold, quiet beginning of winter, when the world seemed at rest and ready to begin again. And so, on the advice of Sosigenes, Caesar declared that January the 1st would mark the start of the new year, in honor of Janus, the two-faced god of beginnings and endings, of gates and transitions. Therefore, in 46 BCE, Caesar's calendar, the Julian calendar, was born, and January 1st became New Year's Day. The people of Rome celebrated with feasts and offerings, looking ahead with hope and much excitement. To mark the occasion, Romans made sacrifices to Janus, decorated their homes with beautiful tree branches, and exchanged gifts. However, the celebration was seen as pagan by medieval Christian leaders, who replaced January 1st to revolve around religiously significant dates like March 25th, the Feast of the Annunciation. By 1582, the Julian calendar had drifted about 10 days from the actual solar year. So in that same year, a man named Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar. He slightly adjusted the calendar by skipping 10 days from October 4th, 1582, Julian, and started counting from October 15th, 1582. And eventually, despite the drift, he still maintained January 1st as New Year's Day. Even though the Gregorian calendar and the Julian calendar are both solar calendars, Pope Gregory made it differ in how they account for leap years and align with the solar year. Because Julius Caesar assumed that a solar year is 360.25 days, 365 days, plus one leap day every 4 years. But in actual time, the solar year is about 365,222 days, so the Julian calendar drifted by 11 minutes per year. Gregory corrected this error by eliminating one leap year every 400 years, making it more precise such that, instead of leap years occurring too frequently, causing the calendar to drift by about 1 day every 128 years. He adjusted it to ensure a leap year occurs every 4 years, except for years divisible by 100 but not divisible by 400. When this new development was made, it was adopted only by Catholic countries. The calendar, however, gradually spread to other parts of Europe and, eventually, the world. Today, New Year's celebrations often begin on the evening of December 31st and continue into the early hours of January 1. Across cultures, people have developed unique traditions to welcome the coming year, like eating good luck foods. In Spain, it's customary to eat 12 grapes at midnight, one for each stroke of the clock, to ensure good fortune. In Italy, lentils are eaten for prosperity, while Americans in the South enjoy black-eyed peas for the same reason. Pork is a symbol of progress in countries like Austria and Cuba, and ring-shaped cakes symbolize the year's cycle in Greece and Mexico. And in other parts of the world like Nigeria, New Year's resolutions are embraced where people make promises to do and be more. Also, there is raising of a glass to toast that the new year is another enduring tradition. This custom dates back to ancient times when wine symbolizes life and celebration. Today, it remains a way to honor the past and toast the future. Though centuries have passed and empires have risen and fallen, the tradition remains the same. Every January 1st, we honor Gregory's decision as we turn the page on the past and step forward into the promise of a new beginning. Thanks for watching. We are sure you sat at the edge of your seat as we uncovered the memories from centuries past. But don't just watch, take action. Subscribe now for more powerful content, leave a comment to join the conversation in the comment box, and share this video to inspire others. Together, we can educate the world.